Hello.
We're live. Give it a few seconds. Got Brian, got Tony, quite a few of you coming online.
Excellent.
That's good, excellent. Well, thank you everyone.
Yeah. G'day.
Welcome to episode number 5 of these Hearns at Home. Hopefully you enjoy BJ's new goggles.
I'm enjoying them. I'm loving them.
We received some new toys this week and BJ has been wearing them since, apparently.
It's my new look.
Alright. So, 5th episode, and I think we've done about 25 live episodes so far in a row, which is quite good. It's been good fun. Finally, today I think we've got a technology spot on. This technology is with us, so we just right on time on 8:30. So we are live from home today. I guess by now everyone knows the situation in Melbourne. So thank you for all that are watching us from different parts of the world. Here in Melbourne, we are in a pretty hard lockdown, so everyone has to stay home and work from home. So BJ is at his own place, and I'm in my garage.
So a lot of people coming on online now, so
there's quite a
hello
few.
to everyone.
Someone is asking for the diesel locomotive that was on the picture today. Yes, I remember that one. I don't remember the model though. We saw that in the picture.
Ooh, diesel.
The one on the live post that we did today around lunchtime. We took that photo. I don't remember. We'll find out. We'll put a comment on Monday. We'll have to check the exact model number.
Yep. We'll look it up. Make sure.
Absolutely. So very good. So 4th of September, spring. It's actually really been really warm down here in Melbourne, which is nice. Let's hope that we can start going out again very soon and start playing with our outdoor toys.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, but for a start, today was the end of the competition. So, BJ, to you on that one to comment for a few seconds.
Yes, that's right. So, we just finished up the latest competition, which was the diorama and vignette competition. So they finished up at 5 o'clock this evening. So thank you very much for everyone that's put in their entries. There's quite a few multiple entries, which are really good, and a few last-minute entries that started coming in today as well. So unfortunately, entries are closed now, and we'll take the next few days and we'll go through them all, and we'll give them all points, and we'll announce the winners for next week. So good luck, and after that, I guess yes.
Good. So, hi Travis. Good to see you. Good to see you online. We saw your Mr. Slot car. We saw your nice new shed full of slot cars. Very good. Well done.
Very impressive.
So let's start with the usual little car. So we move. We change scale. Let's see.
Oh, it's a bit hard to see.
Yep. Okay. Oh, let's see if I can get this to zoom. Sorry, guys. This. Here we go. All right.
Look at that.
Sorry guys, I need to not zooming in on this. No, it's not happy. Here we go.
Could be full. That's right. Sort of.
Okay.
Yep. Oh.
Ooh, not happy. Sorry. It's focusing on me and not on the car. Let's see, I remove the plate here. I had a turntable. Maybe the turntable is not helping. Too close. No, we're not winning tonight.
Might have to hold it up to your face.
Yeah, I'll go up here. Probably too far away. Well, let's see. Bit more of a challenge. Let's see if anyone can guess what little car we have here tonight. This is very tiny today. We'll figure out if we can zoom it a bit more later. Let's see.
Yeah, a bit tricky this one.
These are tricky.
I think the last ones we had were a bit too easy maybe, so this is a good trick.
All right. Let's see. Let's put this aside. So, what happened this week? Yeah, I think the face attack is catching me. You're right, Tony. I think it's too smart. So I don't have a car face, I guess. Yeah. So we'll try again. So this week we received a set of pre-built NANOBLOCKS. So after trying to keep our NANOBLOCK build, crushing it before the live, we received one of those fully pre-built and glued together so we can't break it. So brand new from NANOBLOCKS is actually the Melbourne Tram. I think I've got one here. So last week we had a Flinders Street station. Today we have a tram. Just for a change, this one is fully glued so we can drop it and won't break it, which is good, because last week I broke at the station just before the live, which wasn't great, but we managed to put it back together. So these are 290 pieces. Good fun. If you're missing coming into the city, that's just a little $25 kind of Lego style puzzle really that you can try to play with from NANOBLOCKS. So NANOBLOCKS, they have it's made in Japan, I think, is a Japanese brand, and they've got a huge range of really tiny figures and really big models such as the Titanic and so forth really. So next one for tonight is Green Stuff. That's another exciting release. Well, no, not a release, it's a delivery that we received this week.
Yep. So Green Stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. We've got a lot of different stuff. They're most famous for their Green Stuff putty, of course. So let me just go through a few of the things. I've got some examples here. Oh, there we go, the car again. So, all right, so here's a Green Stuff putty. Okay, so Green Stuff's been around for a very, very long time now. Quite a few professional sculptors like to use it as well for remodeling and also for sculpting figures from scratch. This is like a standard sort of epoxy type putty. It's two parts, so it's very easy to see the differences. You've got hardener and the epoxy. You've got the yellow and the blue, and when it's mixed together properly, it turns green. Now, there's a lot of different epoxy putties around, but Green Stuff tends to be, well, it has a particular consistency that a lot of people like. It's quite elastic and very smooth, and it works very well for doing clothing and draping. So quite often you can use this for making very fine folds. And then with the consistency, you can use milliput as well. So those who know about milliput, it's a slightly gritty consistency, and a lot of people actually mix 50-50 Green Stuff with milliput to get a halfway feel. So I've got the Green Stuff here. It's available in different lengths, different amounts. So that's the smallest one, that's a 6-inch. And then from there, they've also got Brown Stuff. So that's the Brown Stuff, obviously because it's brown. It's got an aluminium type epoxy. When this is mixed together, this gives a different consistency again. So this one's a slightly harder feel. It's good for doing sharper objects, like if you're doing blades on swords, remodeling spears and things like that. So using in conjunction with the other blue stuff, you can get all the different shapes you need. And then we've got Blue Stuff. Blue Stuff is really interesting because this is a thermoplastic. So when you want to copy certain parts, you might have a figure where you want an extra gun and you like the gun that's already on it. You want to copy it. This particular stuff, you just drop it into some very hot water, mix it around for a few minutes, and it'll soften up. You pull it out, it becomes a very hot goo, and you can mold that around the particular item, allow it to cool down, and then you peel off your original, and then you can make another copy of that original with different type of putty, like milliput. You can press that in, or you use a resin, UV cured resin, or even plaster, I guess, depending on what you're making. So this stuff is really handy. Now that's a real game changer because quite often you don't want to use all the silicone and stuff for mixing and pouring because it's a lot of work and it's really messy. You need to do just a couple of items, use this, and then when you finish with it, if you don't need that mold anymore, you drop it back into hot water, and then you remodel it and use it on something else. So that's Blue Stuff, really good. Okay, so they're the putties. There's plenty of other stuff as well. The other interesting thing, I guess, are these press cutters. Okay, so you put material in here, so it'll be paper or leaves and such, and then you can press out leaf shapes. And you'll see here, there's all different patterns. I've got a lot more. So I think there's about 15 different shapes in all. So I've got a few here, the different ones we have. And then I've got them sort of, I've got them cut out here. So I'll just give you an idea. So that's just been cut out of a bit of baking paper. You use any sort of parchment paper, you can scrunch it up and then cut them out. It gives them that nice texture. And let's just pick up some of these smaller ones. done some really small ones too. You can see the shapes on them, really good. So something like that could be used for your miniatures in your gaming, or even 35th scale. That works really well. Okay, so there are your punches. And then for your punches, I've got this stuff here. So all this stuff is really interesting because see this stuff is called spider serum. Okay, so you got spider serum, and then you got the cleaner for it. And the idea behind this stuff is you pour it into your airbrush, and then as you spray, it creates a cobweb. So you make your spider webs out of that, and then you just use this stuff to clean out your airbrush. So I'll be posting up a video on how you use that in next week. What else we got here? We've got a variety of different molds. So this particular one is the bullet molds. It's got different sizes. You've got smaller ones up here, all the way to bigger ones there. And each side you've got ones with bullets, and then other side you've got empty casings. So if you like doing your little dioramas with a whole heap of spent shell casings on the ground, you can just put your milliput or plaster or whatever it is, resin, cast in these, press them all out, and you've got a whole heap of different bullets. And then there's other things as well. So there's bricks and different shapes and things to use in dioramas. Okay. And we got UV cured resin. Now this is a bit of a game changer too. So this is available in clear, so you can do water effects. So the advantage of this stuff is you can pour it on, and then you set it with a UV torch. So you can make drips or flat puddles and things. So it won't actually set until you actually put the UV torch on. So you can let it settle, so it's totally smooth, and then you hit it with this, and then it'll lock its shape. So that's your UV resin. A bunch of different size chains. So you see there's some fine chain. So this is the, I think this is the 2 mil, and then there's the, a bit hard to see I think, over here. This one's a 1.5 mil. And they're always handy to have. You use them on tanks, use them on medieval figures. Something a lot of people have been asking us about, magnets. So these are available in a bunch of sizes as well. These are quite small. These are the 3x1s. Yep, 3x1 mil. And you can use these for attaching figures to bases, or attaching arms to figures, even attaching vehicles onto different areas as well. They're very strong neodymium magnets. So they're good. We've got a little bit of foliage they've made. So these are the bushes. They're available in a lot of different sizes, so sizes and also colors. These have got slight flower patterns on them, so you can get them from brown to green. And then we've got the leaf litter too. So a bit like the presses we had before. So this is all leaves that have already been pre-colored and pre-pressed, and there's also bits of flock and such in there to make it look like real litter. And you get those in brown and different colors too. So there's more stuff here. This is a bit different. So this is copper tape. Now the idea of the copper tape is it's conductive. So if you're doing lighting for your models, self-adhesive, you can just stick this onto the inside of your model, and then you can attach your lighting. So they also have a whole bunch of LEDs, from 1 mil surface mount LEDs to 3 mil, and you just need to solder on the wires onto here. It makes all your wiring a lot neater, so you don't have all the loose wires all around the inside of your model. Particularly with science fiction guys, this would be really handy. And if you don't use it for wiring purposes, you also use it for just like, tie downs, so adding extra detail onto your kit. And what else we got here? Okay, so there's a bunch of different paint type materials. Right. I've already posted up these ones. So this is the color shifts. So these are a really nice color shifting paint which is water based. And quite often the best color shifts are solvent based paints, but it makes it a lot easier now. You don't have your really strong spells, dries very quickly, and it's very easy to work with. So you can brush these on, but they work best if you airbrush them. So we've got this set here. And then we've got inks, which a lot of people have asked us about. So gamer guys like to use inks. It works like it's like a wash. It's a transparent wash and acts more like a filter. We've got a whole lot of sets of different colours here, and they're generally quite bright colours, so great for fantasy. And then these things are quite interesting too. So these are liquid pigments. So pigments are basically powdered, I guess, pigment's pigment, isn't it? So they're usually powdered, but this is got the binder which has already been pre-mixed into it. So you don't have to worry about putting on a binder and then trying to glue all your pigment down. You just paint it on, you push the pigment around, and then it dries where you leave it. Much simpler, and then it won't come off. So this is the rust set, so you see all the sort of the very earthy tones. And then I've got this one here, which is the earth set, so it's got all the brown tones in it. Okay, so with Green Stuff World, I think that's all I've brought to. Yeah, that's all I've brought to look at. But they've got a lot more other things too, and I'll make your modelling a lot easier and more exciting.
That is an incredible range, actually. So we met with Green Stuff last year in Germany, and their stand is quite tiny but full of, different products and different accessories they make. I have here see if you can get this to display.
Oh, they're the LEDs, yeah?
The LEDs are really tiny. I think I have to go away from the camera, otherwise it's not going to work too well. Let me see. I'll do this.
Yeah, they're the 1 mil ones.
These are super tiny one. Here we go.
So the great thing about these is they're already pre-wired, because 1 mil LEDs are almost impossible to solder.
Yes.
And then longer bits, they also got all the resistors already been put onto them. So you just have to connect that up to a 3-volt battery, like those round sort of button batteries, and they're ready to go.
Absolutely. And they have a on and off switch as well, a LED lightning kit switch, which is still really handy.
Yeah, definitely makes it easier.
If you
so
have a
it's
big
just
model.
got the holder for the button cell. You just press it in and it locks in, and then it's got a press switch.
Yeah.
It just needs a little bit of soldering.
Cool. That's right. So I think we've got a couple of questions, BJ, in relation to the green stuff. How long does it take to set, and how much time do you have to actually work with?
So the green stuff, generally you've got a couple of hours of work with it, and it's really tacky when you first mix it. A bit like most of the other epoxy putties as well. Milli putty is very tacky when you do that. And if you need it more workable, you can allow it to sit for a little bit until it firms up. And in the meantime, you can roll it and such. So I think a reasonable working time would be 2 hours. And with all epoxy putties, you can accelerate that setting time with heat. So you can use a hairdryer and heat it up. If you don't need a longer time, you can put them in the freezer, and that will slow down its curing time. But yeah, generally 2 hours.
Cool. And then I found this one's.
Ah, yes.
So that's a blood. So we've got true blood and coagulated blood. So that's interesting. I've seen this used, but I don't know actually how it will work. Is it like a paint, BJ, more or less?
Well, it is. So I guess the difference is when you're trying to replicate blood in the past, you use a clear red, and then the clear red looks too clear, I guess. So these have got a partial pigment through them. So the thicker it is, the deeper the color, but it also has a slight opacity to it. So it looks like real blood. So the true blood is the very, very red stuff. It's meant to look like fresh blood. And then the coagulated blood is dark. So as you can see there, so it's meant to be blood that's been, I guess, blurted out of your victim for a bit of a while, and you're starting to harden up a bit. So you got your choice there.
That's cool. So much to look into this range. Very nice. I've got here one of these little die to play with for the weekend.
Yes.
So lots of different options here. That's really good. So what else we've got next? Green stuff. We've got a couple of tools that we received. This is one of my favorite tools. When we play with RC cars and we build new kits, this is the tool that can come really handy. So this is a multi-grip tool, but there is a lot more to it. So this tool can be used for measuring screws, which is very helpful when you build a kit and they give you 8mm screws or 12mm screws. You need to know exactly where to put them on. And this one, you just put your screws in the groove here, and it's going to tell you exactly how long it is. Really helpful when you do your models. You've got ball end extractor, so you put your ball end and you pop the ball out, through here. Now you have all different diameter grips here that you can use for shocks, for turnbuckle perhaps, and for all sorts of different things that you need to try to hold and squeeze and turn as you build a model. So really helpful tool from a brand Colexo 4x4, and really useful when you build a model. BJ, a few years ago when you were building your Tamiya kits, this would have been very helpful, isn't it?
Oh, it would have been luxury.
Luxury, absolutely. And along with this, Aramax has a different tool. It's actually not a tool, it's a tray. This is also luxury. It's black and gold. One very nice aspect of this is also to do with the ability of measuring screws. We've got M2.2, M2.5, M3, M4. So you can measure the diameter of your screws. Also in imperial. What else have you got here? And also the length of the screw here. You go from 3mm all the way to 16. So this tool looks really nice. It's really fancy, but it's actually quite practical as well. So you got different trays to pull your perhaps shims and screws and larger parts as you build. But the important aspect of this is actually being able to measure things. Really helpful. So Aramax has a very nice range of all kind of tools, from traditional hexes to all the setup station and setting up tools. If you have the ability of following our Facebook page, Aramax Australia, we are the distributor of the product, and we have been actually feeding quite a few pictures and posts almost every day to show you the range and how it can be utilized. This is a very interesting tool.